Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. It is me, Brit Reacts, and allegedly, apparently, the Manosphere is turning on Donald Trump. We're gonna watch a few short clips, and then we'll talk about it. All right? Let's do it. All right, this first clip is from a CNN short. Y'all love CNN, don't ya? I know.
In a surprising twist, the male-dominated podcasting ecosystem, which was so critical to Donald Trump's courtship of young men last year, is starting to turn on him. We've seen comedians and podcast hosts, some of these people who had Trump on their shows, endorsed him to their massive audiences, and even showed up as VIPs at his inauguration, are starting to voice some displeasure with Trump's return to Washington.
I felt like it was supposed to be America first. Like we're focusing on like, what are we doing to get things back into America, right?
Exactly.
So like now that we're caught up here and it feels like we are just working for Israel, I don't know, you just really start to feel very disillusioned pretty quickly.
There's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up and...
Okay. I think it was abundantly clear and unprecedented, really, how much the podcast world got into the political campaigning. You saw it on both Kamala's team and Donald Trump's team, where they were stopping by and visiting these podcasts. And I don't think we had ever really seen that before this election, maybe a little bit, but this election, it felt like they were really going hard on the podcast front, because podcasting is really leading the charge as far as media, but most specifically to the youth. It is where the youth get their information. It is where they are inspired, and it's the people they like admire and listen to. And so, you know, when you think about the numbers and what the young male numbers specifically were, I think you can't help but acknowledge the podcast push and the podcast pull and the influence. And so, yeah, it's been interesting, you know, in the last couple of days, just scrolling through short form content, you start to see this pop up where a lot of the mainly male podcasters who were endorsing Trump and had him on their podcast are now speaking out. And here's the thing I think I appreciate is, in the same way that you can speak loud about when you feel like he's wrong, you have to also speak loud about when you feel like, I'm sorry, I think it's good that they spoke, you know, their truth was their truth and their beliefs were their beliefs. So as long as they spoke loud and clear when Trump was right in their eyes, they need to also be just as loud when they feel he is wrong. And I think that no matter if you are Republican, Democrat, MAGA or not, like any of the things, you have to, like, everyone has to just lock in with reality. And the truth of the matter is, there are always going to be flaws, always. In any situation, there's good and there's bad. But I say this time and time again, my issue with the MAGA movement in itself is that it feels like fandom, and these specific people just will not ever admit when Trump is doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, he didn't promise that he would do, or, you know, anything that is not right or wrong. It feels like MAGA just will stand 10 toes down and make excuses for him, whereas these young men and Joe Rogan are saying like, hey, I supported him, but now I disagree, because it's showing the youth how real that is, and that you don't have to agree with everything, and sometimes you aren't going to agree with everything, and you also don't have to handle it in a terrible way. You know, I just think it's a good thing that the same men that were championing why is this hard for me to say? The same men that were rooting for Trump are also now saying, okay, but here's where the buck stops for me in this case. And they're explaining themselves, and they're having these well thought out, educated conversations with other people. And it doesn't feel like just a bash session. They're like really talking through it. And I think that the youth needs to see that, especially the young men. So whether you are a fan, a follower, or someone who is just a Republican and you're going to die on that hill, or the other side of things, I think it is always good to have the balance of, I'm going to ride for this, but I'm also going to speak up when something is not right. And I think that's all I ask for when I'm reacting to these things, is like, can we stop just fangirling for a second and be honest about what's really going on and what's not right and what is good and what is bad? I don't know. All right, let's keep watching this clip, and then I have 2 more clips.
Construction sites, raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it.
I was in Detroit over the weekend for Theo Von's stand-up tour, and I heard many of those same grievances among his fans. Some of them who were very unhappy with the price tag of Donald Trump's domestic agenda. Others who said that Trump's promise not to get the U.S. in any new wars had been broken, and many people expressing displeasure with Donald Trump's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. And we are starting.
I think that has been kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for the Manosphere, is this Epstein file situation. You have seen more and more people just being like, bro, where's the transparency? Bro, release the files, like what's going on? And again, I appreciate anyone calling out someone that they originally stood behind and now they don't agree, and just saying like, that's not like what's going on. So, but that does seem, this Epstein case and all of the things surrounding it have seemed to kind of break the seal on people kind of tolerating what they've been seeing and disagreeing with quietly, and now I think they're speaking up about it. And I'm not sure why it took the Epstein case for people to speak up about it. And now they're talking about Israel and the wars and the funding and the budget. And it's like, but all that's been going on. But it took the Epstein files for you guys to get real upset? I don't know.
Starting to see some of that discontent show up in polls. Take a look at CNN's latest polling of young men under 35. 60% disapprove of Donald Trump's presidency compared to just 54% back in February. In a surprising twist, the male...
There's that one. And in good faith of, you know, we're going to react to everything and everyone kind of thing, I'm going to now go to Megyn Kelly, who is not a CNN reporter, and see what she has to say. This says Megyn Kelly reacts to Andrew Schultz turning on Trump and supporting Mamdani. Very interesting.
Back on the subject of Mamdani, I want to show you this clip from Andrew Schultz because it hits on a couple of things that I want to talk to you about politically. It's SOT 10.
The only party right now that to me seems America first is the Democrat Socialist Party.
Yep.
Bernie is America first. Mamdani and all his ideas that he will not be able to execute, and I frankly think many of them are not good ideas, but he is no doubt New York first. The policies seem to want to help people here. That's what I care about. If MAGA wants to take this America First thing back, they got to start looking out for America, and it doesn't seem like they're doing. Lying to Americans is not America First. There is one lie, which is Epstein did not have a blackmail ring on all these very influential people. And by saying that that didn't happen, you have to tell a lot of other little lies. Every one of them just pulls a little piece of thread away from the fabric. And we're starting to see right through right now, and it's just embarrassing.
It's very interesting. So that's a guy who, I mean, I've interviewed him many times. I think he's an independent, but though he's been a registered Democrat for most of his life, he comes from a family of Democrats, though he was supportive of Trump and voted Trump this last election, who now you hear him, he's attracted by some of the things that Mamdani is saying. And I've heard Andrew and others like him politically talk about that debate in New York City where the question by the moderator was, which country would you visit first as New York City mayor? And they all said Israel. And Mamdani said, I'm not really interested in visiting any country. I'm going to stay in New York, which was a great answer, I have to say, to his credit.
Right.
But like there is a belief in some circles that like you're not electable, you know, Democrat or Republican unless you do a genuflection toward Israel and you send all the right signals on how you're going to be pro-Israel. And Mamdani didn't do it. I mean, I think there are reasons for that. But separate and apart from those reasons, it was the right answer to say, I'm the mayor of New York. Why are you asking me about going to travel to foreign countries? back on the subject of Mamdani.
I totally agree with that. Like, why does my mayor of my city need to be going out of the country? All right. Let me know your thoughts on that. Schultz, I think I'm gonna y'all are y'all gonna start calling him a grifter? Is he a grifter? Does he qualify as a grifter now? I don't know. All right, that was Megan. And I like what she said. I like how she broke it down. I like the clip that they showed. I think it I didn't burp. I don't know what that was. Anyway, the points were made, and so I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, the last clip is of Shane Gillis, and it says Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker react to. No, that's not what this title is. That's one of the like suggestion things. It's Shane Gillis turns liberal? ? Exclamation mark. Which we all know is not a fact. Here we go.
I'll tell you what, I'm also back on my lib shit.
What's up?
I watched just a video today of, it was at the UFC when Trump's cabinet was there, and they do that thing where the camera gets in front of you. Every single one of them was like,
Trump's cab?
all the bros.
All the
It genuinely
bros.
pissed me off.
They're drinking that Zucker juice, bro.
Makes me wanna-
Why are they all the bros now? They're the bros now.
They're all acting bros out.
They are on T.
You can't be a repub after you see this.
Really?
Yeah,
What are these like
These are
short
bros.
words?
Mark Ingram being funny.
Sick.
Deion Dawkins, beast.
Yeah.
Licks his wife's face.
Nice.
Beast.
Awesome.
Now, RFK keeps it classy.
Yeah, he
This is how a
does.
politician should do it.
Yeah, true.
Here's the head of the FBI.
Cash Patel. Gabs. Hang loose. Who's that bull?
Marco Rubio.
Rubio. That's Rubio. He's allegedly on T.
I'll tell you what.
That was cringy, guys. That was cringy. That was cringy. Like, why are y'all throwing up like gang signs? Like, oh Lord. All right, I don't have much else to say about it. That last clip was super cringy, and apparently it was enough cringe to send Shane back over to the other side. All right. Y'all know the deal. I love you and your opinions, and I welcome them all. But if you cannot keep it kind, keep it cute and put it on mute and take your ugliness somewhere else. Talk to me down below in the comments about all of these things, and I'll see you in the next video. Go and have, guys, wow, I'm struggling today. Go and have the day you deserve. Okay, bye.